Alright, welcome back. So today we're going to talk about the security users, security and also system settings. Alright, so security means that some security settings for Hack Central Pro, and also if you need to create a newly user, and then we can go to security. And system settings refers to the settings for the map, Google online map, offline map, and also the one access, something like that. Alright, so let's take a look, one by one. So security comes first. Alright, so before we add a new users, I would like to introduce security settings for you. Like, when you don't know my password, you're trying to log in my Hack Central Pro. So after 5 times, then the IP address will be logged. Alright, and also if you set the password strength as weak, medium, or strong, then the password should be in line with their strength here. So alright, and maximum password age, which means that if I set them as 1 month or 2 months or 3 months or maybe custom, then when the time is up, then you should modify the password. Alright, auto log control client, which means that if you disable this, then your control client will not be logged forever, because sometimes when the operator didn't or doesn't operate the control client for 10 minutes or 5 minutes or maybe 60 minutes, your control client will be logged. But if you disable this, then your control client will stay there, So I think maybe it's not very safe. So you can modify these settings according to your needs. Alright, let's go on and with the users here. So I will delete all the rows and users, and okay. So speaking of the users, Hack Central can support 3,000 users, right? 3,000 users, 3,000 rows. I think that's totally good enough for the numbers. As to the users, we support the regular users like admin or test, and also Hack Active Directory, the domain user is also available on Hack Central Pro. So before we add the newly users, we should make sure that whether you have added the rows first. Actually, for Hack Central Pro, we support admin user, which has all the permissions of the server, and operator, which has all the permissions for control client. So this is the default rows. And now let's create a new one. So I want to create a user for operator, maybe operator A, or maybe any other name. I don't want copy from, and also the effector period. So for 20, no. Okay, so that's the period I set for him or her. And permission schedule means that if your operator works from the morning till 12 o'clock, then you can set the permission schedule for him or her. Or maybe your operator works from 2 o'clock in the afternoon till 8 o'clock, then you can also set the permission schedule for them. If they log in Hack Central, out of the schedule, actually they don't have the permission. Alright, so for this one, I will use a new one. New one means that Alright, so I will start weekly. Yes, weekly, but from like this. Alright, so this is my schedule. If you need holiday schedule, then check the holiday settings. Alright, role status is active. And for the permission settings, we have different application scenario. For the general ones, then give the permission. For the rental ones, which means that if you rent the 2 or 3 floors of your company, and you can be the one who give the permissions, the card permissions for the access groups of your company. Alright, let's talk about the general first. So for this one, I will only give you the 7706 MVR. Oh, here. Alright, so our new role, new user will only get the permission of 7708 MVR. And about the resource, encoding device, no, only 77, not any other. So if you're using the video wall, then you should give him or her a permission for the video wall 1. Okay. Person list, no. User permission, operation first, monitoring live view playback but not the map. Public view, you can add, edit, but not delete. So alarm center view, you don't have any arming and disarming control function on the control client. Batch acknowledge, no. Alright, so how about the camera? Okay, how about the live view? So about the camera, you have the live view permission. Okay, so that's my permission for these rows. Alright. And how about the logout? Log. Okay. Logout. Alright. Click add and finish. So that's my role. Actually, create the role is the first step because you need to assign the role to your user. Okay, so role means permission. And now let's go to step 2. Create a new user. Since we have mentioned that we support the regular user and also we support the domain user, but no matter which kind of user you are import, please add your roles first, okay? So now let's add a new user. So this user means the name is operator A. No, sorry. Operator. Oh, I don't know how to spell. Operator A, and give him the password. Give him or her the password. And when they log in, they should modify the password. So I think we have some customers, they don't like this function, but you know, they thought that the password for the operators should be determined by admin. So if you think like that, then I think I advise you, after the settings, the admin user, you can go to control client and modify the password. Then the operator doesn't need to modify the password again, okay? Alright, so expiry date, no, I want, alright, 2029, okay. Email, so email is very useful when the operator forgets their password. So, actually we have two ways if the operator they forgot the password. Number one is that the admin user can modify the password for them. And number two is that you can leave email of them and then they can modify the password for themselves. So let's go on. And restrict concurrent logins means that if you know my password, you know the IP address, and also you know operator A's password, then you can also log in. But actually here, if I restrict the concurrent logins, you know that if I restrict here as 1, then only one web client can be logged with my username and password. So question for you. Why did I enable these options? You will see 100 here, 1 to 100. Why's that? Because do you remember how many PC clients can log into Hack Central server simultaneously? It's 100, right? Yeah, I guess that's why when you enable that, you will see 100 displayed, by default. But of course, you can modify any numbers from 1 to 100, just for a reference. Alright, PTZ permission. So still the range is 1 to 100. So the larger value means higher permission. When you have 100, but I only have 99, which means that when we operate the PTZ camera together, you will take the priority. Okay, so the higher value means higher permission. Alright, so operator A. If you want to check more details, then check that. Okay, that's it. So this is my operator A, okay, for the regular user. And if you want domain users, import domain users, right? But remember, in the person management, we said that you can also import domain users to Hack Central Pro, right? So before we import, one thing we should make sure is that you have already set the Active Directories here. All right. Otherwise, you cannot get any information when you trying to import domain users here. All right. So user and PTZ commission, and you can find someone here. All right, so this is my domain name and operator A. Okay, that's it. So that's how we import the regular user and also domain users to Hack Central Pro. And now let's try to verify. So you may notice that we have online for admin, because admin of course is online, but for domain users, now they are offline, or no matter domain users or the regular user, because actually they're not online, that's why. And also you see that for now we have 5 connection numbers for my Hack Central Pro using admin user. All right, which means that because this is a test platform for our colleagues, so everyone, if they know my password, they know my IP address, can be logged on Hack Central Pro. So that's why you will see 5 IP addresses displayed here. All right, so let me try to verify the permissions. So the name is operator A, and modify, because this is my first time to log in with operator A. Okay, modify the password. So if you do not want the operator user to modify the password, then admin user, please, one more step. You need to modify the password by yourselves and then give the password to them. All right, so monitoring. Okay, so only 7706, right? Okay, live view. Okay, how about map? You see that there's no map here. There's no map here because I didn't give them permission. And alarm center. All right, so if there has alarm, of course we can do that. Remember the arming control, I said that on the control clan, the operator can arming or disarming if you have the permission. I don't have the permission because when I set the operator A's permission, I didn't give him or her the permission to arming or disarming. All right. Okay, so that's the user one. And also, okay, so this is my domain name. I can use my password, in Hikvision. To log in. All right, and after login, you will see that here is not operator A or admin user, but this is my domain name. All right, so that's the security user, security settings here, and okay, 3,000 users. Okay, and now let's go on with system settings. Okay. Now let's go on with system settings. So system settings actually, has a lot of things that we need to be familiar about that. So system number 1, normal means regular. So set name, Hack Central Pro. So if you do not select this name, especially when you have 2 Hack Central servers, you have the RSM, it's better to change the name, right? Because all the Hack Central Pro, their site name means Hack Central Professional. Map, this is working for Google Online Map and also MapReddit or the OpenStreet offline map. So if you need to use this map, please go to map and do the settings here. All right. If you do not like the Hack Central's, the icon style, then upload your picture and customize your icons. User preference. So for some countries, for some regions, they will work from Sunday to Thursday, then Friday and Saturday is their weekend. So we have different, definition for the first day of the week. So you can, according to your, needs, and modify the first day of the week. So after you modify here, then the calendar and also when you generate the reports, the first day will be different from the default ones. And also, for the thermal cameras, you can modify the temperature unit Celsius, Fahrenheit, and Kelvin. Server usage thresholds, which means that when the server, running, the CPU usage running low, or the RAM usage now, shows exception, then we can set the event and alarm linkage for them. But you should notify how long, let's say, alright, so CPU usage is more than 60% after 300 seconds, then I will receive the alarm information. So remember to modify the value here. Alright, network NTP settings. So if you have the NTP server, input to the NTP server IP address here, and also the interval can be modified from 1 minute to 60 minutes, okay? And if you do not have a separate NTP server, you can also input the IP address of your Hack Central server. So it's also working, but please enable one service called WIN32 time services, alright? Active Directory. So if you need to import the domain users, please enable the Active Directory. Receiving generic event. This is for you to receive the alarm information from third-party system. So if you have those, requirements, please check that. Otherwise, the port number for this generic event will not be occupied. So the 15300 is for receiving the alarm information from third-party system. Receiving set registration, which means that if you have a RSM, Hack Central server, to manage other Hack Central servers, then you can receive the set registration from other Hack Central servers. So for RSM, it's receiving, but for other Hack Central pros, you will see that registering to Central system, okay? Device access protocol. Remember the ISAP protocol because from version 1.4 we support accessing ISAP 5.0 version to access Hack Central. But in this version 1.6 we also support some earlier version like 2.6 or 4.0. If you have device like this, please check this. Allow ISAP of earlier version. Alright, otherwise the earlier version cannot be working normally on Hack Central Pro. Alright. Alright, one access. So if you have to deploy your platform on one access, please make sure that you have input the one IP here, and also the port numbers should be forwarded, right? So some common ports like 80, 443, 554, 10,000, and 559. Remember the installation part, we are introducing the difference between the streaming gateway and also the streaming server, right? And we said that if you have the one client, so when you're doing the live stream or checking the live video, your port number 55, your streaming gateway will be enabled automatically. So if you have this kind of scenarios, which means that 554, 10,000 will be used. So please make sure that the port number has been forwarded also. Alright, network timeout. So this is our actually the low bandwidth solution. So if the bandwidth is not good, you see that we have a hint for you, because every time when you add the cameras, add the devices, actually the server is trying to get connections with your device. So the default waiting time is 60 seconds. So if the network is not good, then you can 1.5 or 2 times. Device access mode. Device access mode, which means that if you want to use your streaming gateway, to get streams or forward streams, for Hikvision cameras, we should do the manual work, right? Because for third-party cameras and also for the one client, streaming gateway will be adopted automatically. But for Hikvision cameras in LAN network, we should do it manually. But actually, we do not recommend you to modify it here, because if you modify it here, it is effective for all the added encoding devices and also decoding devices, which means all the streams will go through the streaming gateway. Maybe some cameras or some devices you may not need the streaming gateway. So we also have a place for you to modify the stream type, health monitoring and encoding device. Find your devices, maybe deep in mind, and check that. Switch access mode. Directly access, proxy means enable streaming gateway, okay? Proxy means streaming gateway. So after that, so you will see that proxy here, all right? But now it's offline, okay, no worries. So direct access. Okay, and also because we mentioned that the performance of streaming gateway is 200 cameras. When the performance running out, then you may consider, at the first stage, you should consider whether you need this streaming service or not. So if you want to check the performance of your streaming gateway still, or health monitoring, and click. All right, and we can have a look about the streaming gateway. So now it's 0 because I didn't enable any stream to use this streaming gateway. All right. Okay, so let's go on with the system settings on the web client. Server NIC for receiving the alarm information for the third-party cameras. All right, so if you need to receive that, please make sure that you have choose the network card here. Storage, number one, storage on system server, because all the pictures like event pictures, alarm pictures, the face recognition pictures, and also some capture pictures will be saved in Hack Central server. So if you want to modify the saving path, like the hint, please go back to the web client locally, okay? In this part, you can only check, but you cannot modify any other saving path. Data retention, so all the data receive events, alarms, warnings, logs, recording tags, reports, card swiping records, all the records can be saved for up to 3 years. Schedule, so schedule, recording schedule, schedule, all the schedules actually, you can modify it here centrally, or you can, because we have very flexible operations, every time when you do something, you will see that add new, right? So you can also go there, click add new to modify your schedules. So schedule, permission schedule, something like that. This is permission schedule. Remember, when I create the operator A rows, I set it by clicking I new, so you will also see it here. All right, and also holiday settings. So this is especially useful for time and attendance, and also access controls, and also the security settings. So 16 holidays can be added. All right, email. So email is also very important, because if you want to receive any event information with email, or maybe reports or any records sent by email, please, number one is that please do your email settings here. Otherwise, you will not receive any emails. And also define the template here. Report. So we have already mentioned the reports for you in the report part. So if you want to receive the report for event, alarm, people counting, thermal analysis, any reports sent by emails, please modify report template first. All right, and then choose the template, the format, daily, weekly, and also the time. Evidence collection is working for the dock station, so you can refer to the dock station part. Security also, that if you need something from security, please go to the web client locally, like switch from HTTP to HTTPS. You should go to the web client locally. And also the certificate. All right, I'm visiting the web client locally. This is my Hack Central server. All right, so locally. Alright, so HTTP to HTTPS. So when you're trying to use HTTPS, you may need to know that you may need to import a certificate. So if you have your own certificate, then choose new certificate. And also if you have a system provided certificate, actually this is mean the certificate from Hikvision. Alright, so you don't need to import because this certificate has already been packed with the installation package. Alright, about the new certificate, you see that the certificate should be PM format, and also the public key and private key should have the, they should be copied in one file, because you cannot import public first and then private. They should be in the same certificate. Alright, and service component certificate, we have already introduced them in the installation part. Database password. So database password, you can use your password for admin user, verify, and generate the password. Then you can. I think it's better to use that database password because it's more safer. Because every time when the technical support guys, they're trying to solve problem for you, and you can use your password and generate the password, and then send the password to them, and then they can solve the problem for you. Alright, advanced camera ID have already introduced you in the smartphone part, working mode. So working mode is very important for the turnstile. If you have Hikvision's turnstile and also have the Hikvision's K5671 terminals or K5603 terminals, please make sure the working mode, because if the K5600 terminals are working with Hikvision turnstile, then the terminal mode will be face recognition. But if the K5600 series are working with the third-party turnstile, then the working mode on Hik Central will be access control terminal. Alright? So please make sure your turnstile, is from Hikvision or maybe from other companies, and modify and check the working mode on system advanced part. Alright, health check frequency. So this is the server checks your devices, every 3 minutes by default. If you think 3 minutes too long, then you can modify the values here. Plate fuzzy search is working for the vehicle part. So sometimes the letters are recognized in the wrong way, like 0 to Q, 1 and I. So if you enable the fuzzy rules here, then you will see the fuzzy plate number displayed there. Hotspot is working for the failover solution. If you have the failover solution after you deploy that, you should tell the server which one is the host and which one is the spare server. Third-party integration, Optimus and OpenAPI will not introduced in this introduction part. Data interchange is for the time and attendance, so we have already talked about that in that part. SUP upgrade means that if your license will be prompt in how many days, then you will receive an email to remind you that So before that, please add your email here, and then you will receive that. Alright, so that's the system settings here on web client, and also we have some system settings on the control client. So on the control client, the most important one I think is health monitoring. So this is for you to check the running status of all the service, and also the camera offline, and then you will see that which camera and what device is offline, and also to auto refresh to do the health check. And the resource status, the cameras, right? History overview, and we can know that the online rate. So this is the highest on tree planting day that we have 70 devices online, because this is my test platform. So a lot of devices will be online, offline every day. All right. If you want to know more, click the dots. And click the camera name. Okay, so for yesterday, 24 hours. Alright, so 23 hours, and we still have 25 minutes offline, and you will see the offline time here. Alright, this is for the cameras, and also you can check other doors and health monitoring history, and also we have a recording integrity. So this is for you to help that whether the integrity is complete or not. Let's check about the 7.8.26. Alright, so we have main storage and auxiliary storage. So main storage means that locally, alright, click and you will see that which part is missing. Alright, so I think this is really useful for when you checking the video files. Alright, okay, and audit trail. So audit trail is for you to check the log files, server logs, device logs, and also resource logs. For the server logs, let's see that if you want to check what they have done, like say I want to check the domain users, what did they do in the past hours, and you will see that only user log in and log out. And how about these guys? No. Okay. And actually, I think I've met some customers. They are asking us because that they also have the face comparison module, and they want to know that if I delete somebody, if I delete some person, let's say that I'm sorry guys, I will delete you guys. If I delete all these guys, can I find it in the log files? Let's try. Alright. Okay, so you see that if I delete persons, so the information will be displayed here. So you can find what they have done for the users. Alright, so that's about the server logs, and also we have some, in the system settings here. Alright, so global stream and threshold for main to sub, this is for you to do the stream type change, and also for network timeout, waiting times between the control client and also the device. So if the network is not good, then you can choose 1.5 and 2 times. Alright, so picture format is for the capture pictures and also the time zone. So if your device are in the different zones with your servers, then you can choose to search the video files by client time or device time, and also the alarm time will also follow the time zone. But actually, this time zone will not affect the time for the reports. When you generate the reports, the reports will always follow the time for device. Okay. So no matter you choose client time or device time here, it will not affect the time in. You see that will not affect the reports modules. Alright, time difference means that the time difference will be added with your time now. Alright, auto login, which means that you don't need to input the password. Display window number, which means that when you're checking the monitoring, you will see that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 like that. Alright, open after opening the client, you can choose control panel, last interface, or specific view. I will choose control panel. If you choose view, which means that you should set the view first, and then next time when you log out, then the view will be played there. Okay, so image, view scale, and window scale. So if you do not like the default ones, want to make them bigger, then choose full screen, and also adjust the window scale. And video caching means that based on the network performance, if the performance is not good, then larger frame caching will result in better video performance. And also enable highlight means the green squares. If you do not want to check that, disable. And also if you want to check the post information overlaid, if you need that, please enable here. If not, then disable. Temperature information is for thermal, so if you want to check thermal, like the Celsius degrees, please enable that. And the GPU hardware decoding is working for the graphic card. No matter for the graphic card's multiple solution, or maybe you want to use a graphic card, please enable that. The file, the saving path, live view playback alarm center, and we have already introduced this in the monitoring set. Alright, so that's all for the system settings on control client, and let's call it a day for the security settings and also the system settings. Alright, so see you guys. Thank you.